Absolutely amazing. That was my verdict after an unforgettable hour of dog sledding on my recent trip to Northern Norway. What an adventure. I can't imagine a better way to spend the day than with these incredible dogs steering a sled through a stunning Arctic landscape. If you've ever wondered what dog sledding in Norway is really like, keep watching. I'll take you along for the full experience. But first, this journey begins as we sail into Tromsø. I am on the Aurora cruise ship from P&O Cruises. It's the oldest and smallest ship in the fleet, an adults-only ship, and it's March. We're heading up to the north of Norway in search of the Northern Lights. But before the darkness comes, we have several hours of daylight in Tromsø, and we are going dog sledding. I am super excited about this. It's actually been several years since I last did this, and with all the fresh snow that Tromsø has had over the last few days, this promises to be a really memorable day. Come along for the ride. Just before we get started, please do check out lifeinnorway.net for more on Tromsø, Arctic Norway, and all things Norway in English. And if you do enjoy these videos, please consider backing me and Life in Norway on Patreon. Backers get early access to videos and also travel tips from yours truly, a British travel writer who's lived in Norway for almost 14 years now. Now, let's get going. Tromsø is one of my all-time favourite places to visit in Northern Norway. It's a true cultural capital, packed with things to see and do. But on this latest visit, we arrived in port a few hours late thanks to a classic winter storm. So as soon as the ship docked, my mum and I barreled off, ready for adventure. We were docked at the port just outside Tromsø city centre, where our excursion bus was already waiting. A local student acted as our guide on the drive and shared lots of interesting facts about Tromsø and the surrounding area. My fellow passengers were especially intrigued by the long undersea tunnels that connect parts of the city, an impressive feat of engineering. But before long, all eyes were on the windows. As we left the city behind, the landscape transformed. A recent snowfall had blanketed northern Norway in fresh powder, turning the scenery into a true winter wonderland. Jagged mountains, frozen lakes, and snow-laden trees, this was the Arctic at its most magical. Unfortunately, we soon hit a road closure, just one of these things you have to expect in northern Norway in March, when avalanche risk is at its peak. After a few phone calls and a bit of replanning, we set off on a long diversion along a bumpy mountain road. But no one minded in the slightest. We were on our way to go dog sledding and nothing was going to stop us. When we arrived, the first thing that struck me was just how much fresh snow was on the ground. Just look at this. It was like stepping into a postcard. The team came out to greet us and quickly explained what to expect. First up, getting changed. Yep, it was snowsuit time. Full snowsuits, sturdy boots and warm gloves were all provided. And with the sun bouncing off all that bright white snow, sunglasses weren't just an option, they were essential. Once everyone in the group was suited up and ready, we headed over to the Husky Kennels. Normally there's time to meet your team of dogs and give them a cuddle before setting off, but since we were running behind schedule, it was straight into the safety briefing.
Nice that you made it here, despite all the drama, everything that came in the way.
Because this was a self-mushing trip, there was a lot to learn. Steering, braking, balance, it's not just a ride, it's a real workout.
For your passenger, it's not only fast, but also a bit dangerous because no one is in control of the sled. So please keep your hands here. Also, no pictures, no phones for the driver. You really have to be focused and not distracted.
So after clear instructions and a few laughs along the way, we were soon ready to take the reins. The dogs certainly let us know when they were ready. I jumped at the chance to be a passenger for the first half of the trip, as did my mum. With everyone ready and set, it was time to go. Now I'll leave you with the sounds of the sleds for a few moments so you can experience the trip just as I did.
Go, 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 go! Go on, boys. Look at this. Oh, yes. Go on, boys. Hey, hey.
After almost half an hour of the most incredible ride, it was time for a break, for us and for the dogs. How you doing, Mum?
What an experience.
Then it was time to switch roles. Now I was in charge, this time driving my mum back to the camp. Standing on the sled runners, gripping the handlebar and controlling the speed with the brake felt so natural once I got the hang of it, and I loved every second. Before I knew it, we were gliding through the snow with the Arctic wind in our faces and nothing but the sound of paws and the sled runners along the snow. The whole experience was such a rush, and the time absolutely flew by. Once we were back at the kennels, we finally got a proper chance to meet our dog teams and thank them for their hard work. These incredible huskies had already completed several runs that day, but they were still full of energy and happy to soak up the attention before their evening meal. Some of our group decided to play around in the deep snow before changing out of our snowsuits, making snow angels and snapping last-minute photos. But before we left, there was a chance to warm up inside this cosy wooden hut and hear about the huskies with a well-earned hot chocolate around the fire. We learned that some huskies from the camp were actually taking part in a long-distance sled race that very moment, and they were due to finish in Alta the following day, which is exactly where we would be. It was soon time to head back to the ship, and with the main road still closed, it was a very long drive back, but at least we had all our photos and videos from the day to entertain us. The following day, we arrived in Alta. While there's exciting outdoor experiences to be had in the surrounding area, Alta Centre offers little of interest, usually. But because it was Finnmarksløpet, the long-distance sled dog race that our hosts mentioned the previous day, Alta was alive with activity. We were in town on the same day that the participants in the 600-kilometre race were expected to finish. Yes, 600 kilometres, and that's not even the longest race. Crowds began to gather, so as we waited for the winners to arrive, we took a wander around the ice sculpture park that was next to the finish line. A short time later, one of the participants crossed the finish line. Having steered my own sled less than 24 hours ago, I could really appreciate just what an exhausting effort this must have been for man and dogs. If you love the idea of dog sledding or meeting the huskies but aren't keen on taking charge, there are options for you. Many dog sledding tours include the musher, so you're free to relax. There are also Meet the Huskies tours available. Last time I went to Alta, I did just that. The team talked us through the care of the dogs, their participation in Finnmarksløpet, and allowed us plenty of time for cuddles, even with the newest arrivals. Alta and Tromso are two hotspots for dog sledding in Northern Norway. Tromso in particular offers so many things to see and do for the curious traveller year-round. Watch this video next for my recommendations on what else to do in Tromso. And as always, thank you for watching.